Okay, Randy, got a near complete project here. I shoot a little video of it, cover the key points, take a couple weeks, 2, 3 weeks, week to digest it, walk the property a little bit to see what makes it appropriate, write down specific questions, and we'll revisit to finish it off. So our primary access point is down at the bottom here. Park our truck anywhere we want, doesn't really matter. We have stands on the west side of the property here. This one's more of a, if we get any kind of east wind during the rut, this would be a great stand. You can watch the food. We also have some deer cruising trails set up. Again, east wind on this stand. This is a late season stand. 3-acre food plot here. I think it was 3. You can click on these icons and read on the ones that are important. 3 acres of corn. I got lanes pointed back towards the blind. If you want to leave some corn and you want to have some late season muzzleloader hunting or rifle hunting when it's really cold, if you leave 3 acres of corn here and only hunt this blind late season when they're coming to the food only in the afternoons, you should be able to draw just about every deer on the property on here as long as they feel unpressured. Here's one of your old stands. Here's a new stand that's going to be cruising downwind of a sidewalk here, northwest wind. 2 stands on the east line. I didn't put anything on the north side of the property, and the reason for that is that's where we're going to try to create, where it says BB here, we're going to try to create some small plots to put these bucks. These 2 spots, especially where it's a little thicker. This one here, we're going to try to put them, there's like a ridge that runs here. 1/3 of the way down the downhill side of this ridge. Don't make these big areas. Just a couple of trees, sod level with the ground, so they're flat to the ground. Don't want a ceiling on these, I just want a backstop for them. But if we can place them on a flat spot on the downhill side of that ridge, we'll be in good shape up top here. Another little buck bedding area here, another little buck bedding here. So we're going to try to place the bucks right along the north line here where we don't put any pressure. Our does are going to be in this clear cut. Our does are going to be in these red circles. And our does eventually can be in, if you get real motivated, we'll make this low swampy area here a whole tamarack swamp. If you're planting tamaracks, I try to find the plugs versus the bare root, because the plugs are a lot easier to plant. Get a plug tool, you just pull them out of the styrofoam tray and stick them in there and good to go. I also get some black spruce for higher ground, but in that wet area, black spruce is a good choice for wet areas. So you can mix black spruce and tamarack in there and make a great bedding area. Over here, if you want descriptions on the various techniques, click the icons with the hand tool. So you click on the hand tool up here and you can watch little videos that Steve has put together on these different tactics where they go in deer bedding, scrape trees, blockades, and edge feathering, which I have around some of the plots. So general theme, we're going to access from here. A little higher impact access around this side of the property, but you need to have it for an east wind access. And then the other stand, the other access is here, 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 and here. Again, if you want to use this access for rifle season, you can, to keep the deer out of here. I would use this one for archery season for the east 2 stands. If we go any higher than this stand over here, we're going to run into some trouble with bumping deer just the way the topography lays. This is a natural bedding area for the deer right up here. They're going to want to be there with any kind of north wind. So if we go farther than that, they're going to be a sea. So keep in mind, look at the topography up here in this general area, and this tree has to be selected so that when we crawl up in it with no leaves on the trees like there is right now, these deer can't see us from this bedding area. If they can see us from this tree, we have to move it farther south. We have to do something, either completely eliminate it or move it a little farther south so these deer can't get us. These would be very important. If we're going to hold a buck on our property, I think this is going to be the spot right up here. Now these red circles are going to be areas where we just general deer bedding. We're going to try to hold does in there. Again, click on with the hand tool, click on the doe bedding. And you can see how to create those quarter to a half acre, 1 acre if you want to. You can do a couple of these right alongside of the roadway if you want to. Those guys can just come in and clear cut those along the roadway. Just a 1/4 acre, a half acre, 1 acre if you want to. Those will fill up with regen. You can hinge cut them. You can log them. You can do whatever you want. But we're going to create some areas that have some diversity in that area to hold some of those doe groups. And the purpose of that is going to be when we place the buck groups on the top of the property, the red trails are going to be the deer sidewalks. I see I got to drag an icon over there for deer sidewalks. I'm going to put that in there right now. But the red trails are going to be deer sidewalks. So what we want to do the deer sidewalks are going to be a 30-inch wide piece of 30-inch wide piece of timber where the trees are cut perpendicular to the trail. So the only easy place to walk there is the sidewalk. I'm going to add that icon in here and make it so you can see how to do those too. You don't have to cut as many trees as is going to show up in this video. All we have to do is create something that where the deer want to walk. The bucks are going to want to walk to travel downwind of these doe bedding areas. Then the does are going to want to walk these trails to get in and out of these food plots. Again, around that entire clear cut, we're going to do the deer sidewalks so the bucks cruise around there. It's an easy place for them to walk. It's not easy for them to walk where the sidewalk isn't because of the perpendicular cuts. It's going to grow up a little thicker. And they're strategically placed downwind of our doe bedding with good access to drag those bucks by us. So if we can get a mature buck to bed on our property and he's on his feet during daylight, during the rut, if he's going to get up and cruise for does, he will cruise downwind of those doe bedding areas. We just have to be in one of the stands he walks by during the day. So put those doe bedding areas or the sidewalk or the sidewalks just downwind of the doe bedding areas in a place where we have access to a tree stand. So when we approach this stand, we know where our access is from, and we know which stands we're going to use what when. We got the food as the draw for the deer. The red trails are going to bring the deer into those food plots, so we plan our access around that. Now, when we pick our tree to put our tree stands in, or our spot to put our elevated blinds, whatever we choose, we have to make sure that when we climb up under that tree or that blind, that our bedding, either the natural bedding on the property, like that northeast corner where the deer are naturally going to bed, or that's any swampy area where the deer are naturally going to bed, we got to make sure when we climb up in that tree, those deer can't see us. We also need to make sure when we manufacture the deer bedding that we pick a tree and pick the corresponding bedding so we can get in and out of that tree without the deer seeing us. So we need vegetation, we need a rise in elevation to put the bedding on the other side of. We have to do something, or it might be just a case of putting it far enough away, but we have to do something so that when we climb in and out of that tree, those deer, if they use our dictated, our preferred bedding, that they can't see us get in and out of the tree. So take this general plan. What I want you to do is look at it, digest it, go check out some of these areas I'm talking about. Look and see if there is a suitable tree that we can pick to set up some deer bedding next to and cut that sidewalk through. So we have to pick our tree, pick our bedding that's based upon access, pick our bedding that we're going to dictate based upon where that tree stand goes. Then we'll put the tree stands in, we'll put the bedding in, we'll cut the deer sidewalks last. We'll have a flow through the property with social attractants, such as scrape trees. We can put in water holes if we want. But this is a good head start. So I want you to take one final look at this thing. And then when you're ready, shoot me an email and we'll schedule a final consultation. And we'll pull out the things that don't make sense and we'll compensate and add in, we'll adjust things so we have a final working plan that answers all the questions that you might have on your property. So put this together as best you can. Write down a list of final questions so our final interview is productive. And then we'll be able to take and implement all these tools and pieces in the right places on your property to make this plan function. So we should be about 70% of the way home, hopefully farther, the way this sits now.